Hi, I'm Ginger with Zoom and Groom Mobile Pet Salon. It's the middle of the COVID-19 outbreak, sometime in April 2020, and everything is shut down, including grooming services. So I can imagine there's a lot of owners that are stuck at home with their dogs that are getting a little scruffy, and you're trying to figure out what you can do to take care of them. So this video is intended for those of you who have dogs whose hair grows long and starts to get matted. And if you're a doodle owner, this is really for you. Okay, so I'm here with tools, both professional and things you can find around your house. So as far as professional tools, we've got slicker brushes, different type of slicker brush, and things that are called pin brushes. And these types of brushes all have kind of sharp metal individual pins that are good for getting into the mat and kind of pulling the mats out bit by bit. They're great. So if you don't have any sort of pin brushes or slickers at home, then there's some reasonable facsimiles that you can find in your house. One of the best things I found is this hair dryer brush. It has nylon bristles, but they are pretty stiff. That's what you want. You want stiff bristles. And they can do a good job at getting the mats out. I also have this sort of rat tail brush. I think it's from the 50s or something. And it also has stiff nylon brushes. So either one of these are good. I have this soft pointed brush that's just wimpy and it won't do the trick at all. So that's it for brushes. So brushes are the first thing you have to do. Okay, and as far as combs go, we have wide tooth combs like this. This one's a little bit of a mess and I've been working on my dog a bit, but these are good for after you brush, you can try the comb, wide tooth. Then we have narrow tooth combs, and that's to really get those mats out, to make sure there isn't any mat left behind. No mat left behind. So, and then this is what I was able to find around the house. It's about as close to a wide tooth comb as I could get. And then sort of a very narrow tooth comb. You definitely want both. Hopefully you have both. You definitely want a narrow tooth comb in your bag of tricks there. I'll be back in a second. Okay, now I'm back with tools that are sort of mat buster type tools. So we've got, on the professional side, you've got your basic scissors. We never cut mats out, so I'm just going to show you how to use scissors in a way that you're not going to be cutting a chunk of coat out of your dog's coat. Then we have thinning shears, and those have little teeth on them that are good for getting mats out, helping them get out. Then we have these mat busters. They're like little razors practically that are quite sharp, and there's rows of them, so you can get in and just cut the mat out with these sort of parallel razors. You've got to, if you have these at home, you've got to be super careful because you can cut yourself. I mean, I've never cut a dog, but I have cut myself, and it's not a picnic. So on the home side, got these scissors, household scissors, they're fine. I was able to find these little tiny thinning shears, and I have no idea where they came from. Seems like something that you'd have for a mustache or a beard, but my husband doesn't have a mustache or a beard, but happy they're here. And then there's these that you may have. These are, letter openers, and they're fantastic. So I actually use these in my van to get mats out. So I'll show you how to use these in the demonstration. Hi, I'm here with my dog Charlie. Charlie is about 12 years old. He's 15 pounds and he's a Maltipoo. So he's part Maltese and part Poodle. I have not groomed Charlie for probably 4 or 5 weeks, so he's a little bit messy, but Maltipoos don't really mat very much. So he's fairly low maintenance in that regard. There's definitely going to be mats on him though. I keep his legs pretty long. So I will be able to demonstrate how to get rid of mats for you and your dog. First of all, I'm going to start with a grooming brush that you may have at home. I know some of my clients may have these pen brushes and these slicker type brushes. So I'm just going to demonstrate how to use these because they are sharp metal pens and they can be very rough. If you rub them along the skin of your dog, or if you rub them along your scalp, they are pretty sharp and they can irritate the skin. So the way that you use these kinds of brushes is you just lay it down on this coat and then you pull it out. So you lay it down, pull it out, and you're just going to go bit by bit, laying it down, pulling it out. And that's how you take care of it. You can do the same with one of these brushes. Okay, he's showing you his back. Lay it down, pull it out. And then it won't hurt him. So that's basically what you're going to do with these brushes. I wanted to do a quick demo on that, but I am actually going to work with tools that you may be able and hopefully can find around your home, tools that I found around my home that sort of resemble professional grooming tools. So starting with hair brushes, I have a motley crew of brushes here. So I have sort of a rat tail nylon brush with very stiff bristles. The thing you want are stiff bristles and really kind of like single bristles if possible, if you can find something like that. This has very stiff bristles, this blow dryer curling thing. So I'm going to try that. I'll start with his back leg. I'm going to show you how you would go through grooming your dog. Now mats can hide in some places, so it's good to be aware of where mats hide. A lot of owners will brush their back of their dog and kind of think that they're not very matted, but when actually the mats are really hiding behind the ears or around the collar area, they will mat around the chest. Another really favorite place for mats is under the arms here, which goes down inside the leg and the chest. And then of course the back legs inside here and outside here, and the tail. And the tail can be fairly easy to take care of. Very, kind of quick and simple to take care of, believe it or not. So also mats can hide in between the toes and in the feet of your dog. So be sure to check that there's no mats hidden in between their toes. They've got 4 toes, so they have 3 in-betweens of their toes to check. So you have to really thoroughly take care of your entire dog. Dogs also can have mats in their beard and their mustache. So keep up with those too. So starting out, I'm going to try this, this hair dryer curling brush. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing that I would do with the pen brushes, but I don't think I have to be quite as careful with the roughness of the skin. And when you do this, you want to do this thing, it's called line brushing, where you pick a section. So the section I'm picking here will be his back leg. And it's easier if you start at the bottom, so you can just hold the hair up. You get the hair around the bottom there, you hold the rest of it up, and then you can and then make sure when you're picking their legs up and everything that it's a comfortable position for them. You don't want to pull their leg way out or stick it way up. So you just want to kind of keep them in a natural and comfortable position. And I'm going to stand up because I can't see over him so well. And you're just going to take the brush. You are going to try to sort of pick up the hair as you go through. I can also try this rat tail brush, and I'm trying now the one of those soft pointed. They just don't have a lot of strength. They're too puny and soft. So find what's right for you. Once you do that, then you want to comb, and you want to comb that section with a wide tooth comb. So I've got my wide tooth comb here, and lo and behold, I can get through the mats. You see some dogs out there. Some mats pretty easily. Actually, there are no mats, so I'm just brushing through now, but that might not be all, because then I have to try a thin tooth comb, And now I'm going to go through and I have to be able to get that thin tooth comb, and that's where I get into some mats. And those little mats that I can't get through with a thin tooth comb, they're going to turn into monster mats. So you definitely want to stay on top of those. So that means real thorough dematting of your dog, including getting a small tooth comb through. So now, when you hit a mat, okay, that one came through. You don't want to torture your dog by pulling the mats out. If they're tolerating a little bit of pulling, well, that's just great. But you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to pull, get them, you don't want to hurt them at all. So I'm going to now try to find a good mat in here. Okay, hi, I'm back with Charlie, and I've found some mats for him so I can show you techniques for actually getting mats out. I've got his back leg here, and I'm kind of in close up, and I found some matting back here. So there are some mats on the back of his leg there, you can see. So one of the simplest ways to get rid of mats is to use one of these letter openers that you may have at home. So you just take the point of it and you treat it as though it's a comb, and you just comb right through. Just comb right through. A couple of times. There's the mat, there's the mat. And you got a lot of coat out there. Let's see if the mat came out. Nope, it did not. So it looks like there's several small mats there. I'm trying to groom him from behind. It's a little bit challenging. That came out a little easier. Now let's see if we can get it out with the small comb. A little bit harder still. So sometimes if you just get stuck and you can't quite get a mat out, you can bring in your number 2 gun, which would be thinning shears. Thinning shears have the little teeth on them. I don't know if you can see that. They've got teeth on one side, and you can just put your finger next to the skin so you don't cut the skin, and then you can just take this thinning shear and cut right through. Just cut it a couple of times if you want to. It won't cut a big chunk out, and you can just then brush right through there. So now that went through. Let's see if it goes through with, yeah. So the thinning shear can sometimes just get those bits it can thin out the mat, and so that you can then get a comb through okay. We have some dogs outside that Charlie's letting them know who's the boss around here. So that's one good way. Another is, let's go here. I think I found some mats down here. Back up a little bit, buddy. Found a mat here. Yeah, I found some mats here. So another thing is if you don't have the post office blade, you have scissors, big scissors, small scissors. You just want to get behind the mat and then pull out. Behind the mat and pull out. Having your dog distracted by other dogs when they're at least fairly calm like this, but they're distracted and they're paying attention, that's a really good time to groom a dog, because then they're not paying attention. They're not getting upset about you pulling mats because they're more interested in the other dog. So just a little side note. But anyway, you have to be very careful, obviously, with open shears, and make sure your dog is calm and you're calm. And you're just going to go down. Don't poke towards the skin. Just go along the coat. You can pull the coat out. Make sure you get behind it. Just be very careful with that technique. And then you can brush that area. See if you can get a big comb through, and you can. And then a small comb through, and you can. So that is basically the technique for getting mats out. When it comes to tail, you've got the tail, and you're just going to brush it out. So you just first start sectioning off a bit of tail here, a bit of tail there, and you're just going to go all the way to the skin, if you can, of the tail. And then you can try to comb. You go to the tail, and then you're just going to comb out and comb out and just make sure that everything is combed out from the skin. That's the bottom line. When everything on your dog is combed out from the skin, going all the way down to the skin, then you're in pretty good shape.